This year is definitely my big book era. I'm in my big book era. Let's just put it that way. So I thought that in this video I would reflect on what was 2024 on my BookTube channel and in my reading life, and talk a little bit about my channel plans. Where are you digging a hole to? Other side of the universe? It's me, Jess. Welcome to another video. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. My name's Jess and I talk a lot about books, just like most of the other people who have BookTube channels here on YouTube on the internet. And today I thought I would reflect on my reading and channel experiences of 2024 and talk a little bit about channel plans for 2025, reading plans for 2025. So first, let's take a look at my year that was 2024. You know, I didn't read as much as I thought I was going to read in 2024, and I still can't quite wrap my head around why that is. I have no idea. I was comparing my Goodreads goals. I don't know if you can do this on Storygraph. It would be very interesting for me to investigate. But I was comparing my reading challenge from 2024 versus my reading challenge from 2023, which was the year before. And it's really interesting because in 2023, I read 84 books and I set my reading goal at 60. And then last year in 2024, I read 70 of 70 books. But if you look at the page number, even in the page numbers, I think I read something like 22,000 pages. Could that be right? I have to get my computer. Even in terms of page numbers, because I thought, oh, maybe I read more pages because I read bigger books in 2024 than I read in 2023. But no, that's not the case either, because in 2023, I read 26,740 pages. And in 2024, I read 22,163 pages. So I can't quite figure out where the difference is there, because that's at least a 400 or 500 page difference. So that's like 2 or 3 books difference, at least more. Anyway, the goal is not to read more, but the goal is to read and enjoy what you're reading. That is what I need to continually remind myself of. I think this year I have set a reading goal for this year, despite the goals being a little bit hard to interpret in terms of how motivating they are. I did set my goal, I think, at 70 books this year. Again, I don't know what it was. I think that for me personally, and I talked about this in an earlier video in the fall, for me personally, I've taken up some other hobbies and activities which have taken some time away from BookTube and reading. Not the least of which is journaling and making journaling videos, and I took up a bunch of other hobbies, and I'm really happy with that. That's really okay with me. But I do love the channel and I love making videos, and I want to reassure people that I'm not going anywhere in case you were worried. And I think for this year, I'm going to set it at 70 books as the goal on the Goodreads and Storygraph reading challenges. So that's my reading goal in terms of books. Beyond that, I was planning more in terms of what I was reading and what kind of content I was going to include on this channel last year than I ever have before. In fact, I kept a notebook and tried to schedule all of my videos. I sometimes followed the schedule and I sometimes didn't. The thing about this planning is that sometimes what I noticed last year is that I would just get inspired with an idea for a video. and I would just want to make that video as soon as the inspiration hit me. And honestly, some of the best videos that I've made and some of the videos that have received the best responses have been the videos that I've made when I just felt really moved and inspired to make a video. Sometimes when I sit down in front of the camera, I don't feel inspired to talk about anything really. And so sometimes it is a little bit of a struggle to follow what would be a routine of video uploads. Now, I understand that the algorithm loves this, and I understand that people also want to see regular content, and I appreciate that, and I like the stability and the routine of creating a schedule and sticking to a schedule and knowing in advance what I'm going to make a video about and knowing if I need to do any research for a video. All of that I think I will continue to do. So it's going to be a variation of scheduled content versus inspired content, as I like to call it. So with that being said, I am going to change the format a little bit on my channel, and you might have noticed the change in the format already creeping in over the past couple of months. I don't think, like, I have found it quite overwhelming to always do a monthly wrap-up video because often I am 100 pages away from finishing a book at the end of the month, and I want to wait until I finish that book and talk about it in and amongst the other books that I would be talking about for that month. That has always been a thorn in my side ever since I started my BookTube channel. The whole month by month or week by week summation of your reading, and that summation involving completing X number of books. So I'm ditching it. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Some of the booktubers that I admire the most, actually, I've noticed either do standalone reviews or they make fairly frequent videos, which they call recent reads or current reads, and that is what I expect to do for the coming year. So I would say probably, no, it could be it could be 3 weeks, there's a recent reads, and then a week later there's another recent reads, because, like, for example, at the moment I have a lot of books to talk about that I haven't talked about on my channel yet, and I don't want to pack them all into a video that's an hour and a half long. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I'm going to go with the recent reads, current reads format, and I'm going to upload those book reviews every time I have 5 or 6 books to talk about, which seems to be the sweet spot for me because I tend to talk around 5 to 6, 7, 8 minutes about a book, depending on the book. Sometimes it can be even a little bit longer. So in order to keep the videos a reasonable length, my plan is to talk about the books about every 5 or 6 books along in my reading. So that is a big change. I'm not going to do monthly wrap-ups anymore. I'm still going to do monthly TBRs or TBRs around different reading challenges and different events, because I think that now that I've been on BookTube for the amount of time that I have, I think it's been 3 years, I can compile a pretty good reading list for, say, for example, spooky books or books for the Asian Readathon, or books that are short for Shorty September, for example, for different events that come up. So I feel comfortable making TBRs, and I love making a monthly TBR. I've already made a monthly TBR for January after all, and I'm not going to stop doing that, but I am going to get better about making those TBRs a little bit more reasonable in terms of their size. So that brings me to, and I'll just leave special projects for the channel aside for the moment, because that brings me to my reading plans and how I plan to read in 2025. And what I think my goal is going to be, we will see if I stick to it or not. My goal is going to be to read more books from my shelves. I have a lot of books that I've purchased over the last couple of years since I started my BookTube channel. I've done a lot of different book haul videos, and it's time for me now to read the books that I've purchased. I'm not saying that I'm on a book buying ban, but I think I'm going to be more conservative about which books I buy when I buy them, and I don't think I'll be doing book haul videos as often on the channel. That falls in line fairly neatly with the goal that I had last year, which I'm going to carry through to this year, and that is to use my local libraries more. So I will be utilizing my local library for books that are very recently published, if I can get them. The good news is that I can order those books from my library here, and usually they will get those books in for you if you make the request. So that's great. In terms of my channel plans, that is what you can expect. Current reads videos every 3 to 5 weeks, regular TBRs for different events and different reading challenges throughout the year, which I always find really fun. In terms of the prizes, the ones that I get most excited about reading the long lists and subsequent shortlists for are the Carol Shields Prize, the Women's Prize, and potentially the International Booker Prize this year. I think I might dip my toes into. I made my first Booker Prize predictions video last year, and that was a lot of fun, so I'll definitely be following along with the Booker Prize as well. And I might be looking into some of the other prizes that I'm less familiar with. So for example, I noticed that Sarah over on her channel at Eyes on Indie just posted a video about the Republic of Consciousness Prize, which is a prize that I'm really curious about looking at. So that's very exciting. So I'm not ruling out any other potential prize lists that I might peruse or that I might dip my toes into over the course of the year. And of course the BookTube prize, because I've put my name forward to volunteer as a judge for the BookTube prize this year, and I'll be getting my assigned books at the beginning of February, which is very exciting. The other thing that's really exciting on the channel is that last year was my first year where I hosted read-alongs in groups of audience members. People who watch my channel joined me in these read-alongs last year, and they were so successful. We just had such a great time reading these books. So much so that I decided to launch a read-along for the books of Jacob, which is the first big read-along on my channel this year. It's starting this weekend. It started today. Today's Friday. I haven't done any reading yet, but I have opened up the inside. We've opened up and shared the inside page in our group, which is pretty fantastic. It says, "The Books of Jacob," or "A Fantastic Journey Across 7 Borders, 5 Languages, and 3 Major Religions, not counting the minor sects, told by the dead, supplemented by the author, drawing from a range of books and aided by imagination, the which being the greatest natural gift of any person, that the wise might have it for a record, that my compatriots reflect, laypersons gain some understanding, and melancholy souls obtain some slight enjoyment." I'm so excited for this. So yes, I will be hosting a few other read-alongs this year, I've decided. I know what I'm doing, and I don't know if people are going to want to join me or not, but I'm telling you here and now, I'm going to be hosting a read-along of Ducks Newburyport by Lucy Ellman. This is a chunker that I've been wanting to read for quite some time. It's almost 1,000 pages. So I'm going to be hosting a read-along for Ducks Newburyport in the summer, I've decided. So if people are curious about that, please stay tuned. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and then you'll get the notifications for when the announcement video does come out for this one. My plan is to read this one over the summer months. And I also created a classics TBR, which has been posted on my channel for a couple of weeks now. And in that video, I talked about the possibility of hosting a Dickens read-along in the fall, which I am very committed to doing as well. It's possible we might be able to squeeze a fourth one in somewhere along the way, but these are the ones that I'm planning for the channel. And the Dickens read-along, I was having a little bit of difficulty choosing which book. So if you want to go back and check out that video, I was choosing between Little Dorrit and the Pickwick Papers and Oliver Twist, which I don't have a physical copy of at the moment. So yeah, stay tuned for those read-alongs. They have been so great, and I've enjoyed hosting them so much on the channel. I really like them because we take our time and we tackle difficult works of fiction that probably I myself would not read on my own if I wasn't reading them in a group with other people. And I really enjoy that. And I like organizing the read-alongs. It's something that has brought such a strong sense of community for me around my channel that I really want to continue doing it. I'm not able to commit the time to this channel for a full-time book club where we choose a book every month because, as some of you already know, I work full-time. I'm a teacher, and I just can't take the risk. I just feel like I can't take the risk of that heavy of a commitment, but hosting these read-alongs is something that I can completely commit to, and I know that I can follow through with. So that's my plan for the read-alongs for this year. Let me know in the comments section below if there is another book that you think might be good to squeeze in, or a book that you've been wanting to read for a long time, but you find a little bit overwhelming. It might be a good choice for us to look at as a fourth option for the year. I think it would be fun to read one book pretty much every quarter. So we need something for the spring. Let me know in the comment section below. In addition to the read-alongs, the prize content, the BookTube prize, judging, and the regular reading and TBRs, I have a big project to fix my bookshelves. So I have a new bookshelf video tour type of video coming at some point. I can't tell you when. And the other thing that I really love to do on my channel is to film reading vlogs. They do take more time to edit and to film, but I just have a lot of fun making them. And I think it's the side of me that wanted to be a film student that gets to live vicariously through this BookTube channel when I make my reading vlogs. So you can expect more reading vlogs on the channel this year. I always make 3 over Vlogmas, so if you're curious about the style of the reading vlogs, you can go and check those out. The next one will probably be in the spring, although it is possible that I might make one in March, over my March break. I just have to see what my workload is like. And I have a couple of ideas brewing for what to make for the content for those vlogs. Although I don't know if I'm going to speak them out loud just yet because I don't know. Yeah, again, it's a question of commitment. In terms of the types of books that I'm going to read on the channel, as you know, I mentioned I have this classics TBR. I also read a lot of literary fiction that's current because of the prize reading. And as I mentioned already, I want to read the books that I've already purchased, that I already have in my home. I have a TBR jar and I have a bunch of wrapped books that I really want to try to tackle this year. The other intention I have this year when it comes to reading is that I have these journal book type books, and I do want to make more of an effort to make more notes as I read. So you'll see I actually make a ton of notes before I actually come on and film my reviews on my channel. But sometimes I'm making those notes a few weeks after I've read the book. So I am going to try to make notes as I'm reading and do more note taking as I'm reading, because I think as a practice for me, it's very helpful when I sit down to do my review videos, because sometimes I find those review videos quite intimidating. Like I'll sit down and I don't even know what I want to say. And I think sometimes that shows, and I would like to be a bit more organized in my delivery of my thoughts on books. So I will try. I will make an attempt to become more organized with my thoughts. There are some other really exciting challenges and events in and around BookTube, and every year new ones are always cropping up. I've joined in for the Ben Reads Good, or the Read Good Challenge, hosted by Ben Reads Good, and I'm going to try to carry on picking something for each of the months of the year for that challenge. I know and I hope there's going to be another Misery May this year, for example. I know there's always the Asian Reading Challenge. I know that we always have Victober, for example. So there are a couple of, and there's always Jane Austen July. So there are always these recurring challenges that I will do my best to participate in. I was also included in a reading group that's reading all of Claudia Pinero's books, which has been lovely, and I plan to continue on with that. Next book we're reading for that one is A Crack in the Wall. I need to get my hands on it. That's been great. And I'm looking forward to being able to join in on other groups and reading challenges as they come up over the course of the year. So keeping myself fairly flexible and open. I have a regular book club that I meet with once a month, so I'm going to be staying in that book club. I have a couple of friends that I buddy read with and a couple of ideas of buddy reads that I'd like to do with people over the next few months. The other kinds of videos that I'm very excited to try to make this year are some standalone videos or some deep dive videos on books that I found especially thought-provoking and especially fascinating. I've done this a couple of times in the past, once for Middlemarch and once for Invisible Man last year, and those videos have done really well. So I would like to make a deep dive video about East of Eden, which I haven't had a chance to do yet, even though I read it in the summer, and possibly some of the other books that I've read. So that is interesting to me, and I do like making videos that are a bit topical. I made a video last year, or maybe it was the year before, that I was really proud of about why books are banned. So I might make some more video essays that deal with topics around bookish issues. That is something that I could see myself doing in the future, and I have a few different ideas for that. And then the final big kind of project or announcement that I've been teasing here and there on the channel is that I am looking at the possibility of making some Stalking Kafka merch. I don't know yet exactly what the path will be to creating sweatshirts with Stalking Kafka logos on them, or ball caps or mugs or whatever, but I love the idea of it. I don't know why. It's just something that I think is fun, and so I'm going to be looking at the possibility of including some merch just here and there. Maybe I'll do one launch and one, I don't know. It's just an idea. It's just the entrepreneur in me coming out. So those are my plans for 2025 in terms of the gist of what you'll be finding on my channel and what my reading goals are and what kinds of things I'm going to be doing in this corner of the internet. If there is anything else that you would like to see more of that I've already done on the channel, if you've been around my channel for a while, please let me know in the comments section below. Or if you're new to my channel, if there's anything that you're really curious about or that you think would be a fun idea for me to tackle, let me know in the comment section below. I'm very open to your suggestions. There's a few things that I don't feel equipped to do. For example, I don't feel equipped to do a news segment the way Ben over at Ben Reads Good does, because he really keeps up with the times and what's happening in the bookish world and what's being published. I really don't have those I don't have the kind of time to do that kind of research. So I'm not really equipped to do something like that on my channel. I can only read the amount that I can read. Like I'm not a fast reader, so I can't read loads and loads and loads and loads of books and cover new releases in the same way that other very talented booktubers can. And I'm not going to try to do that. But if there are topics that you think are interesting, books that you think are interesting, please let me know in the comment section below, as I said, what you would like to see on the channel in 2025. Thank you so much for being here. I had a huge milestone in 2024 on my channel, which was to hit 1,000 subscribers. So a big thank you to everyone out there in the BookTube community who has promoted my channel. Thank you to you all who watch regularly and have spoken about my channel to someone else and have subscribed and have encouraged other people to subscribe. As you probably know, liking and subscribing is great for my channel. We're essentially making free content for the masses. We're making free content for, you know, the overlords of YouTube, and it's really lovely when your channel gets the acknowledgement and the recognition for, or that when you get the feedback that people like what you're doing, is maybe a better way to say it. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate everyone who leaves a comment. It means a lot to me, and I'm really looking forward to spending 2025 with everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. And in, did I say 2023 or 2024? This is gonna get confusing very quickly. Yeah, even in terms of page numbers, in 2022 I read, no. so yeah, let's just get into it. I hate that transition. Hosted by Ben.